Hi, I'm Paul.
And I'm Karen, and we're from Globalhelpswap.
And that's a website that concentrates on sustainable and wellness tourism. Well, that's a really hard question to start off with, but I suppose the first thing that comes to mind is a lot of people, the mass market, don't know what ecotourism is. They imagine it's living in a tree and just eating berries, where through our experiences you can stay in 5-star hotels and still travel sustainably. So one of the challenges is getting the information out there. This is the year of the sustainable tourism by the UN, and I've hardly seen any literature out there about it. So I suppose our job and other bloggers' job is to push ecotourism and sustainable tourism to the mass market. And the only way we can do that is keep writing good content and doing videos and just, showing each other stuff. So I'd say the big challenge is letting people know what it is and showing them that they can do it.
And I guess getting the mass market to do it. So rather than it being seen as something that's done by a very small group of people, it becomes something that all of us do. So this is really interesting because, first of all, one of the things that we love about travel is when we connect with other people, local people, and we often find that people are really, really open and they're curious and they want to get to know us. For me, the big challenge is the language. So if you don't speak any of the language, it makes it really hard to connect and to communicate. Although we've been known to resort to just doing charades and animal noises. So in some shape or form, if you are open, you do manage.
You can get understood, it's true.
For me, this is so easy to answer. So we were in Burma, in Bagan in Burma, and we just stopped a guy and we said, oh, we're looking for somewhere to eat. Where's good to eat here? He's like, come to my house in 1 hour. So he told us where his house was, and that's what we did. So an hour later we turned up to this guy's house, and it was so interesting. So first of all, there was a family of 6 people living in literally 2 rooms. It was the older parents, and then this guy and his wife and his 2 kids. And that was really fascinating to see how they were living. And despite being actually quite poor, they were still really generous. So I remember they did us this feast of vegetarian food, which was so tasty and actually so different to the stuff we'd eaten in Burma. So really, really good vegetarian stuff, which we absolutely loved.
It was the best meal in Burma by a million miles.
And we also got to just learn about the culture and learn about just getting a bit more of that in-depth knowledge about what it's like to be a Burmese person living in Burma. Fascinating. So if any local ever invites you over to go have a meal, absolutely say yes. But also keep in mind that these are really, really poor people. So if you could, I know that this guy was, for example, a painter, so we offered to buy some of his paintings. So if you could offer something in exchange, that's also really, really useful. And it does help the family. Remember, these people can be very, very poor, much poorer than we ever have had to experience.
I would say local. The more things you do with locals or doing locally, that's inevitably going to be responsible tourism. If you're in a resort place and you stay in a lovely hotel and it may be all inclusive, get out there a few times in the week, go and eat in a local restaurant, go and drink in the local bar. By just doing that, the money's trickling down to local community. Use a guide when you're going trekking. Go on local buses instead of private buses. All these little things incorporate responsible tourism, and the more you do it, the more you'll realize that actually, yes, you can do this, and actually it's the best thing part of the holiday. You'll be coming back from your holiday going, oh yeah, we went to this local bar, we met all these locals, it was amazing. So the more you do it, the more you'll realize that it's very easy to practice responsible tourism.
And I want to add a little bit to this as well, because I think this is so important. So for me, it's also about going to a country with a real sense of curiosity. So be curious about the culture, be curious about the people, and especially if things are done in a different way to yours, it doesn't mean that they're worse or better. They're just different. So be open to them, be open to trying new things. A big question I like to ask myself, and I've learned this through mistakes I've made, is, is anyone or anything being exploited for my pleasure right now? So when we go in countries and we see, for example, elephants being ridden, you know that elephant has suffered a lot for your pleasure, and it's not something that we should be doing. Same thing if you go to tiger temples, and you notice the tigers are drugged up. You can't sit next to a tiger and not put yourself in danger unless there's something wrong with the tiger. So really stop and think. So we've got loads and loads of travel plans. We've just come back from Costa Rica, Nicaragua and Panama, which was amazing. And now we're off to Ireland and Egypt. Croatia, Greece,
Malta. Yeah.
So lots and lots of travel plans for this year.
So yeah.
We've had such a good time answering these questions. I hope you've enjoyed our answers.
Yep, great. And follow us on globalhelpswap.com.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.